Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to Confessions of a Domestic Engineer. And this is going to be the last episode I'm going to do for 2021 with regard to relationships and the manosphere. I covered a little bit of the MGTOW in the last episode, in the first episode. Gave a couple red pill stories in the second episode. The third episode here, I'm going to finish up with, it'd be more of a happy ending, we'll say. And not in that way. Well, maybe in that way too. Let's get the train out there. All right, so I'm gonna give you a timeline. I'm actually recording this on my 43rd birthday. This is about a 5-year timeline, give or take. And I'm not going full timeline. I'm just trying to give you a rough period. So, when I was 38, I was out of my domestic partnership. I was back out and dating and whatnot. By the time I celebrated my 40th birthday, I'd been out there dating a little bit. I had, that was my between 38 and 40. That was kind of my dating period, and dating was really, really difficult. It really was. I tried doing the websites, not huge, but a little bit. And I wasn't aware that there actually, at that point, was an actual 80-20 rule, which is 80% of the women going for 20% of the men. Makes sense. But I had a lot of major strikes against me as far as, you look at my stats on a website. I don't drive, I don't have a car, and I do not drive. I don't have a license at all. I know how to drive. I can drive a stick shift. I've even taught friends to drive a stick shift. I don't drive. It's a PTSD issue, car accident. I believe I've mentioned it in a previous episode. I'm just not comfortable getting into cars in general. Tracy's seen it. I freak out sometimes going through intersections. It's, just one of those things. Take all the other drivers off the road. I can drive fine. Anyways, going off topic. So yeah, I don't drive. That's a major strike against me. And I don't have a high income job. That's a major strike against me. Otherwise, I'm 6 feet tall, so I've got that going. I don't have a six pack, but I do, I at least take care of myself. I don't have a keg. The other six in the pants, stuff like that. I cover most of the basics, decent looking dude, take care of myself. Like I said, I'm 43, still got most of my head of hair. I'm going to admit the hairline's receded a little bit, but I always had a high hairline. Always. If you ever see pictures of me from when I was a teenager, young teenager even, I've always had a very high hairline. It's just, yeah, sure, it's receded a little bit. Not bad though, and I'm fine with the gray. My only complaint is my hair breaks a little bit more now. But once again, I'm going off topic. So, because I had two major strikes against me, didn't have a good paying job, and I wasn't, that it wasn't much of interest for me that, I wasn't getting much interest that way. And then you go the opposite way where I wanted nothing to do with kids anymore. My kids were adults. I was done. No more kids. Especially nobody else's kids. I'm not raising anybody else's kids anymore. I was done with that. I have my two kids. I love my two kids, but, I'm tired of raising other people's kids. So wasn't doing that anymore. So that really, when you start looking in the dating pool and you're looking for women that either don't have kids, don't want kids, or their kids are grown up and out of the house as well, it really kind of starts narrowing the dating pool down really heavily. I either date really young girls who are going to probably change their mind later on and want kids, or I go with ones that were teenage parents, which nothing against that, but a lot of them really have bad attitudes, didn't take care of themselves very well, etc., etc., etc. I actually had a few from high school that were interested, apparently, in dating me, and because of the way they were in high school and the lives they had led, and blah, 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 I was like, hell no, I am not interested in that shit. No, don't need those headaches. Um, and then you know, and older teenagers might have been okay to deal with. Like if we're talking like 16 through 18, at that point they're kind of more or less independent anyways. You don't have to really deal with them too much, but they're also throwing around a lot of attitude at that time period too. And the one woman I did date off and on for a year, around 40ish, when I was around 40ish, she was a little bit older than me. um One of her kid that was around 16, he was a real jackass. So there was that. Her son that was older than that was okay. Her son that was young, and her two kids that were younger that were okay. But the one that was in that 16 to 18 range, man, oof, frick, I forget what jackasses boys can be in that age range. uh, so you got all that kind of going on, right? So I didn't want to deal with any of that shit, which means I'm really in a very narrow pool that I could find and date in. I found a narrow pool. And I had mentioned this before. I had started dating within a polyamorous group. And within this polyamorous group, there were some people that had kids, some that didn't. I had nothing to do with the ones that had kids in any type of relationship way. I'm going to do a polyamorous episode next. I decided I wasn't going to, but I'm going to do an episode where I talk about my views on polyamory next. But I want to stress once again, I'm not polyamorous. Just because I dated in a polyamorous group doesn't that mean I'm polyamorous. I dated. I did not go stooping everything around. I didn't do any of that. I just honestly dated. Went out for a few dinner dates. Went out, would go out to the bar for karaoke nights, stuff like that. It wasn't. It's not some weird swingers fantasy orgy thing that people want to think about or whatever. I was, just dating and Anyways, um, so we get through all that crap, and then I get to the point where I meet Tracy, and Tracy was coming out of a relationship she wasn't happy in. I was dating. I was not really thrilled with women. I was just kind of at a point where, whatever. I was at that point, I was very men go their own way. I was. I will be very clear. That was me and my men go their own way phase. I was working on me and only me, only cared about me, didn't care about anything else, blah, blah, blah. Just living my life, enjoying my life. Tracy was kind of at that point with herself. We just happened to fall together. We did. It's wonderful too. But that we did. We just kind of fell together on that one. And we um we've moved on since then. We had a lot thrown at us right in the beginning because really honestly early in our relationship, we had the pandemic thrown at us. I've covered all this before, all this stuff we had thrown at us in past episodes, and we really got through it. But the reason why Tracy and I have weathered everything, we've gotten through everything, and we've done everything well, and this is the whole point of this episode at this point, is we had common goals. And you can have differences of opinions. We do have differences of opinions. Or um, she's a lot more open minded than I. I don't even want to say that. Sorry. I'm trying. I don't. When we got together, one may have accidentally mistaken her for an SJW. And it's not that she's an SJW. She's just open minded. I'm very open minded as well. But she was a little more liberal with her open-mindedness. I was still in that center zone. I'm not right. Let's be clear. I'm not on that right side. I'm very center about this stuff. She was a little more to the left as. Anyways, She still is. She still. I call her my sweet angel because she gives everybody the benefit of the doubt. I can't do that anymore. I'm too jaded. Um, but we have a few differences here and there, and we handle different things different ways. One of my big things is she's a workaholic. I'm not. Um, I'm a little more anal retentive about cleaning the house. She's just anal retentive about cleaning the dishes. Uh, Cute little things like that. Okay. So, anyways, well, she can drive. I don't drive. Um, so what I'm getting at though is we're different people. She likes hanging out with people. She likes going out and doing things, being social. I'm a bit antisocial, but our goals are the same. There's things that we do like that are the same. Like I love traveling. I love going new places. I love seeing new things. I love doing new stuff. Even if it's not far from home, I'm totally cool and down and into that stuff. It's not so much about being a homebody as I just don't like dealing with people. Really, honestly, I deal with them all day at work. That's my socialness. Yeah. Anyways, uh, so I really, we have common goals. So if it wasn't for COVID going on right now, we would have been doing a lot more traveling than we're doing. Instead, we've decided to focus all of our time and effort into improving our house. Goals. You got to have goals. We planned on replacing our windows right from and doors right from the beginning. That was always on our list of things to do, and we've gotten part of it done. We've got the doors done. We're just waiting for the windows to come in because they're all being custom made to put in, blah, 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 which is fantastic. It's wonderful. I love that kind of part of it. So anyways, where I'm going with this is, that was a goal right from the beginning. We had money put aside for that. But with doing that, we decided to get a home energy assessment done. And with that, we did the full home energy assessment because we decided to let's see if we could maybe get a few tax credits back here and there on a few other things. Nothing huge, but if we're going to do these home improvements and we get tax credits, let's do it when we get the maximum tax credits for it. So when we got it done for the windows and the doors, which we were doing anyways, and we are getting it back for we're getting, I think it's like $100 back for the window, for each one of the windows. It could have been up to 200 or 250 or something like that, but we got windows that open and close, so it drops it down a little bit. The doors we didn't get anything for because we have windows in our doors, but windows in the doors was important. It really was. But there was a furnace update one on there, tankless water heater. We got both of those done. And with 6 people in my house, the tankless water heater was a very smart idea. It's absolutely wonderful. I love the tankless water heater. We've had it for a few weeks now. Brilliant. It was smart planning on both of our behalves. And it was something we had already thrown around a few times, but once again, we have similar goals. If we can't spend the money traveling and going and having unique and interesting experiences, let's put the money into the house and let's get the house as updated as we can and get ahead of schedule on it. And for all of you people that have not bought a house yet, okay, this is my first house. This is Tracy's second house. I personally, I'm on top of the house at all times. So going with replacing stuff and getting better stuff and more efficient stuff or whatnot, had to buy a new toilet. Our old toilet was leaking something fierce. It was leaking into the downstairs bathroom. Luckily, where it was leaking into the downstairs bathroom was the downstairs shower. So that was great that way. And when I say leaking, I mean the pipes going up to the toilet were leaking. It was leaking from the back of the tank. There looked like there was about 4 spots it was leaking from. I'm going to say like most of the seals went on it, and the previous homeowner half-ass fixed all of them instead of going out and getting all the proper stuff to fix it up properly. Run into that a few times. And you're going to run into that, folks. Whoosh. Anyways, so I had to... Originally, we were planning on redoing the bathroom no matter what anyways. And right now I'm just waiting for the windows to get redone so I can start redoing the bathroom. So I'm hoping my windows are in before I get my Christmas break. I get 2 weeks off at Christmas because where I work completely shuts down for 2 weeks. So I'm hoping during those 2 weeks I can get my bathroom completely redone. I had to buy a brand new toilet early. I wasn't planning on buying a toilet. I thought the toilet we had was in pretty good shape. It might become a garden decoration now. Maybe. I haven't decided. It's possible. Not sure how tacky I want it to look. We'll see. All right. I've seen some toilet planters. If I do it upright, it'll look really cute. But I gotta do it upright. Anyways, where I am going for that is we have goals. And our goals always run the same wavelength, you know. And that's been very, very important. And that's what's gotten us through this pandemic together is all of our goals and whatnot. You know, musicians are going back out and touring again, and concerts are starting to happen again and whatnot. So these are goals. You know, right away, we've already bought tickets. We're going to go see Alice Cooper in January here, home in Windsor. The plan is in April to go see Krista Berg, who I've never gotten to see. Tracy's only recently, thanks to me, become interested in. That should be an interesting experience. There's definitely going to be songs I don't know that he's going to perform, which is going to be wonderful. But we haven't decided. We're either going to London or Toronto. Probably end up being London because we just want to travel by train to make it easy. And traveling to London is cheaper because of the way the trains work and the dates and the rates and that. And then our long, outstanding trip this summer, going in August to go see Rammstein. Oh, we have been waiting and waiting and waiting on this one. Oh, seriously. This is the third date for it. Third date. We had the tickets before the pandemic. Then it got canceled. Then we thought it might happen this year. And then it got postponed again. So here's for next year. Here's for August. And that'll be most of our traveling for next year, you know. We did discuss possibly doing a small trip out to Alberta, Calgary area. I can't remember the name of the actual place, but Tracy wants to go to the dinosaur place out there. I'll do some research. I'll put it up on here so I can. But I can't remember the name of it. Tracy's huge into dinosaurs and that. I love dinosaurs. Who doesn't love dinosaurs? So, you know, once again, common goals. We have similar interests. She's really into dinosaurs. I'm really into, hey, let's go see parts of Canada. Yeah. I haven't seen enough of the country yet. I'll do an episode about that too. But my goal is eventually to cover the whole place. Or at least every province and territory. At least one city in every province and territory. Some I have covered with great detail. Anyways, I'm going off. That's my goal. So there's where our goals are kind of harmonizing again. She wants to go to a very specific place that's actually on her bucket list. I just want to go and knock a province off my bucket list. Goals, man. Goals. You got to have common goals. You got to run. All right. So you get where I'm going at here. To wrap everything up, summarize the last 3 episodes. You are going to run across, if you're a guy watching this, you're going to run across people that are going to hold you to a bunch of unreal standards, especially standards that are getting more and more difficult to be able to hold up to because jobs are, you know, women are entering more and more into certain job fields, which those job fields aren't increasing. So that is stopping men from entering into those job fields. I'm not going to say it's kicking men out, but it's stopping men from going into those job fields. And I did, very early on, I did accounting as an example. Very early on in my episodes. So there is a standard you're always going to have to worry about. And that's going to create animosity. And that is what's going to create that men going their own way, because you're not going to be able to impress so many women. Okay. You're going to upset so many, and you're going to be trying to live up to some unreal standard that isn't going to happen. And if you're a lady watching this, you're right about now saying, "Ah, it's bullshit, blah, 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 blah." Or you're maybe luckily you're agreeing with me. But ladies, you got to understand this. The more higher paying jobs you get, that is the less spots that men can take. And that means men, you've got to start looking above you. And women, you got to start accepting below you because we just don't have the jobs to counterbalance. So as long as there's always an realistic expectation, that's always going to happen. You know, that's going to be those red pill stories. Those red pill stories, like I told, that's going to always lead to men going their own way. And the only way you're going to get guys that come back from that is if they find that one person who is going to mesh with them, going to gel with them. And that works for every relationship, realistically. I'm presenting it as, you know, a classic heterosexual example because that's what I apply to as a classic heterosexual example. But the same rules apply to gay couples. The same rules apply to lesbian couples. The difference between gay couples and lesbian couples is those power dynamics, the classic traditional power dynamics, are already thrown out of whack, so they're not quite the same, right? That's what we're dealing with here. Anyways, I've rambled on long enough in this episode. I've gone on long enough, and considering this is a complete reshoot to try and give more structure and discipline, I'm going to cut it here. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you think. Like button, subscribe button, notifications button. Those help out both of us. Otherwise, peace, love, take care, and I will see you in the polyamory episode next.